Resilience in Relationships program, Caroline, 6 sessions, coaching group for adolescents. I'm really looking forward to that developing at the Family Systems Institute. It comes out of the parent program that we've been running for the last couple of years, which is also 6 sessions. And the focus of that program is helping parents get their attention away from worrying or changing their adolescent back onto themselves, making themselves the project, their own self-regulation, the focus, and as a result, the young person has more breathing space to work on themselves as a responsible person in their relationship. So that's how the material's been developed, that's where the ideas come from.
Yeah.
And over the last little while, how long have you been taking all that material I dumped on you and working to turn it into a group that works for adolescents?
It's about 2 months now, I think, of kind of looking at that material and putting it into a bit of a structure to present to adolescents, work with them. And you were mentioning that breathing space. I think using that breathing space, there's a couple of kind of unique elements that we've got in this program to help adolescents make the use of that breathing space. And I think one of the most important elements is it is very much in context. Being from Bowen Family Systems, relationships are at the core of everything we're doing in these 6 sessions, and it really defines the adolescent's life as comprised of so many different relationships and how managing these relationships really affect how they think of themselves.
I'd be interested in a couple of thoughts on what you think is different about this program from other programs you've had access to as a psychologist in training.
So all the training, yes. Well, I think that's one of the key points is the relational context. Our lives are relational, and so having
family in particular as a formative base.
As a formative, and then particularly for adolescents moving out to peers, and some of the learnings that go with that, moving from family to peers. But I think a lot of the study I've done in psychology has really focused on the individual, and it's had a separate part about relationships. And I know myself, my life is relationships, and so learning in a relational context makes applying whatever I'm learning a lot easier, rather than learning it out of context and then being in the thick of it and trying to remember, those other techniques I've learned. So I think that'll be really useful for adolescents, keeping things very relevant to what their day-to-day life is like.
Can you give a quick overview of the 6 weeks program that you and Claire Saunders, clinical psychologist, will be doing together?
Yes, so resilience in relationship is the overall heading, and we've kind of split that up into 2 sections, one focusing on relationships and stress or tension. So what happens in relationships when the tension goes up, and ways that we naturally try and cope with that tension, and how useful or unuseful those ways can be. So after we've kind of looked at that, and that involves looking at a little bit of family history and looking at different patterns in your family and seeing them in yourself as well. With that new awareness, we go on to look at how we can build our resilience in relationships. So how having this awareness of ourselves and our relationship networks, as well as some of the principles of Bowen theory, how that helps us build resilience in those relationships.
And I can see you and Claire Saunders being a terrific team together. And Claire has done a lot of work in family systems theory, as well as working in an adolescent and child health setting for many years. And I just wonder what you're looking forward to most, working together with this project with a group of adolescents.
Well, I can't wait for them. I think always discussing concepts with adolescents, they really help bring things to life with their own examples and their own stories and their own ways of understanding things. So Claire and I have been looking at these concepts, these Bowen concepts, and trying to make them as interesting and as exciting and interactive as possible. But it's always a collaborative kind of effect once you're there in the room and hearing how other people make sense of things. So I'm really looking forward to that. That sharing of understanding, I suppose.
And so with the 6 sessions, we've got 2 groups, a younger group, high school group 7 till 9.
Yep, years
And
7
then
to 9.
the older group.
And years 10 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Years 7 to 9 is earlier in the afternoon, and then years 10 to 12 is later in the afternoon.
And quite affordable, particularly if the young person is eligible for a referral from their GP.
That's right. Because Claire is a clinical psychologist, there is a group rebate you get back from that, which it makes a considerable impact on your overall cost, which will be really helpful for some families, I think.
Well, I'm really looking forward to hearing the research that you and Claire will be doing in your interactive work with adolescents on how they engage with these really helpful ideas.
Yes, I am as well. I think it'll be a great project.
Yeah.